Okay, so thank you so much for joining. So I'm going to start the class now. So today we're going to be looking at data analytics with R. So my name is Bilikisu Mumi Olatunji. I'm a data scientist with Business Data Laboratory. So I'm going to be your instructor for today. So we're going to look at the agenda. So the agenda is that we're going to introduce ourselves. Then we look at today's takeaway. Then we have time for question and answers. You can just pop it into the chat box anytime, then I'll be able to attend to it. So then we'll be able to show our appreciation for you joining us this morning. So today's takeaway is going to be, we'll look at why are you looking at a career as data analyst? Then why are you choosing R? Why R as the tool or the software you're going to be using? Then why learn from us? That's Business Data Laboratory Limited. So our instructors are going to be also introduced to you. Then we'll go straight into what we have for today. So why a career as a data analyst? So firstly, we need to know what a data analyst actually do. So what do they do? Why would I want to be doing that? So we need to look at it step by step. In a layman's, a simple term, data analysts collect data. They gather data from different sources because they want to solve a problem or they're looking at an opportunity for their business or the organization they're working for. So, in order for them to help the organization or the business, the main ingredient that they need to be able to achieve that is to get data. They need to get the data. So, after collecting the data can come in different sources, different formats, from different sizes, volumes, it depends. So this data needs to come in and we need to clean it. That's when you need cleaning means that, okay, we need to really structure it in a way that will be able to do our work, that we analyze the data. So after cleaning and organizing the data, they will look at using the data to reach meaningful conclusions. And you can't do this without analyzing. We either do some statistical analysis, your exploratory analysis there, or different ways that you can make insightful um, value. You derive value from the data that you're working with. This is what your organization or your business will be looking forward to you doing for them on their behalf. They have the silo, the mountains of reports and all this stuff, or data. Get the data from all this. We've done surveys, we've collected data from our customers, we've collected their numbers, we know their social media handle. What do they do there? How can we communicate with them? Our competitors, how do we go ahead of them? How can we beat them in the game that we are all into? These are things that you need to do by cleaning your data, organizing it, collecting the right data, and deriving meaningful insights from it. So after you've done this, you've been able to look at the problem, you've been able to derive some insight that could have solved the problem. You've been able to look at the data, analyze it, and been able to like, okay, this opportunity that we're looking at, we can actually do it this way from what I've been able to derive from the data that we have. So these are the things that we'll now look at. How do we communicate to the executive? We can't take our codes there, or we take our structure or our software or application. Okay, I've cleaned the data, I've done this, what no. Executives or top level decision makers don't have time. They don't have time for all this. These are boring stuff. So then what you need to do in order to make those boring stuff interesting to them is to communicate the results through visuals and reports. You can generate different reports while working as a data analyst. You can either have it as a presentation format or you have it as an HTML document, a PDF document, name it. It depends on what your decision makers or your target audience are looking forward to. So these are basically what a data analyst do. So I hope you understand what I'm saying now. Duni?
Yes, ma, I am. I understand what you are
Okay,
saying.
thank you.
I don't want to disturb you. That was why
So,
I wasn't it.
okay, okay, thank you so much. Okay, so why career now as a data analyst? So now there is a lot of hype about, okay, we have data there, we have data here. And organizations know that the power lies in data, in getting, harnessing the value from our data. We are collecting data. Okay, you want to buy something from us, we collect it. Okay, your name, your phone number, okay, where are you living, and all this stuff. We know what you're doing. All this. What do we do with such data? This data, they need to assign it to somebody, and they pay a lot because there's nothing they can do with data that doesn't make sense. It's just black and white. We don't know how to translate it. We don't understand the statistics. We need somebody to kind of do something, create models or something that will help us to solve our problem or to get the opportunity in the market. So they pay a lot for people who are working as data professionals. They're data analysts or data scientists. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So the price, the salaries are actually high. But this is just the minimum that we're looking at. Some get as much as even going to 100, like 500,000, 1 million. It depends on your experience. So you can also work remotely. You don't, most of um, data analysts and data scientists don't usually work physically now. Thank God for the COVID. So mostly people work remotely or hybrid. Sometimes they go to the office, sometimes they work from home. All these options are now available for us. They also have the opportunity to work as a freelancer. You can control your time, the person you're working with. You can decide on the money or the amount you want to charge. All these are available as for a freelancer. So also you can start your own consulting company. You can start your own gig. You can start your business, do it the way you want it, and you grow. All this starts with just taking that bold step that, okay, do I want to work full time? I want to work remotely or hybrid? I want to be a freelancer so that I have the opportunity to work with whomever I want. I'm starting my own company. So these are the opportunities. And the opportunity is very, very good now. It's the best time. It's even more like yesterday should have started, but it's not too late. It's the right time to get into the industry, and it's easy for you to start a career as a data analyst. So then why would you want to choose us as business data laboratory? Why would I want to learn from you? We have different options to get you skilled. We have the in-class opportunity. We are actually based there in Abuja. But if you're not in Abuja, you can also join our virtual classes. We used Zoom meetings. We shared the documents, the materials, all the slides that we're going to be using. We're going to share it with students. Then we also have the recorded classes for those who are going to be in the class, you want to review what you've learned in class, or you missed the class, you can always get the recorded videos to watch later. But we always want you to be in class because there are opportunities for you to ask questions. Then you have a one-on-one opportunity to interact with your instructor to help you solve the problem. So then we have the email and the chat messengers. We have WhatsApp group that will create the Telegram option is there. We have email communications that will communicate to you anytime. We keep the communication intact. We don't break it. We always want to be there open to assist you anytime. Then we have the option of you coming into class weekly or during the weekends. So the curriculum is actually is structured towards you acquiring the right skills for you to get the job that you want. So we also have dedicated and supportive instructors that will be there to help you and guide you through. Then the schedule is flexible. You have to make your choice. Am I coming during the morning class, the evening classes, the weekend classes? The opportunity is there. Then the virtual classes are also there for you to make your choices. And at the end of your classes, you always have projects that you have to work on that you can showcase, even if you don't have experience. it's a good fit as a portfolio project that you can showcase to your prospective employers that they will use to actually look at, okay, what have you done before? Then you can also have that confidence to really say, this is what I've done. And you can justify it, you can present what you've done so far. So now let's start with our instructors. I'm starting with myself, So I have MSc in Information Technology from the University of Liverpool. I'm a data scientist,
Sorry,
a Shiny developer. I also use Python,
sorry,
but I'm an
please.
R
I
addict.
missed.
So
Okay.
I'm also a certified R student. Okay. Hello. Okay. So I'm a certified R studio instructor, so I'm certified to train, either teaching you in Tidyverse or Shiny, everything R. A certified instructor with our studio. So now pause it. So I'm also a certified Scrum Master, Product Owner, and an Agile Coach. So the next person is Amanyiraho Robinson from Uganda. He's a statistician with a BSc in statistics. So he's also a data scientist, R Shiny developer. He's a certified R Studio instructor. He's also certified to train Tidyverse, R Studio, and R Shiny as well. So we have Adejumo Ridwan Suleiman. He's a statistician as well. He's a data scientist and R Shiny developer. He's also an experienced Udemy instructor. So we have the last person, Fahida Bukola Bilu. So she is a statistician as well. So a data scientist, R Shiny developer, and also a certified Scrum Master. So we are experienced and we are certified to train you and take you through the journey. We are also working as data scientists and we have the experience to share anytime. So now we're going to the business of today. That's to R, to understand what R is. What we use as a tool for us to be a data analyst. So R is a programming language and a software environment for statistical computing. That is the good definition, but it goes beyond that. So it's used in the field of data scientists for data analysis, visualization, and statistical modeling. R is open source, and we have a large community of users that are supporting the language. They contribute to the development, creating packages that will help you to actually do some different problems or maybe different tasks, either as a data analyst in the finance industry, an epidemiologist, an engineer, different fields. There are packages that are actually created to really focus on your professional environment. The data analyst can work in any industry. You can work in any industry. Just which one do you want to focus on? Do I want to focus on being a data analyst in the finance industry, in the educational sector, and the medical sciences or biomedical engineer, whichever one you want, even the pharmaceutical industry, different fields, different professions have different data analysts that work with them. We have professionals that work with data. They also learn to use data and work with data as well. So it's almost a variety of packages, just like I explained, for data manipulation, machine learning, and visualization, AI, different aspect of data analysis of science that you might want to work with. We have packages for it. So it's widely used in academia and industry as well. So it's flexible. It's very, very easy for you to learn R. Very easy. So it's not about I want to be a software engineer or something. No, just do the job, analyze the data, create models from it. It's straightforward. So you can create functions, create and just name it. It makes your life easy. So to work with her, you'll have to, first of all, download the base R language to install it on your machine. So I'm going to open this now. So this is the link for you to download R. This is what you first of all install. When you download it, either you're working on Mac or you're working on Windows or you're using Linux, you have the options here. So you click on any one that you want and you'll be able to go to a link that helps you to download the base R itself. So if you download that, just click on it, install for the first time, then you'll be able to get that onto your system to see, download. You can download the latest version, but if you want to go for older version, I don't think that would be okay. But click on this as the latest one, then you install it. So when you install that, you'll be able to have an interface like this. Let me bring it up. So this is what you will get at the end of the day. Just follow the prompt. You don't make any selection. Then you'll be able to get to this to have our base R in on your system. So you can do any arithmetic operation, anything you want to do in R, you can do it here. But based on this R programming language, there's a new IDE that people use. There are so many IDEs that you can use, graphical user interfaces that are better than this. So that's where R Studio comes in. So the next one that you're going to be looking at, let me share my screen now, is going to be the downloading R Studio. So if you click on, you will be taken to the POSIT website that's R for R Studio. So that's coming up. So I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, I can. Probably my own network is bad. I don't know
Thank
yours.
you. So this is it. Okay, I'm trying to watch out on my side as well. So that's it. So no problem. So now this is where you can download the R Studio. So first of all, it's telling you to install R. So and the version that is actually 3.330 plus. So from what the link we just shown you now, we have the latest version is now 4 point some. So that is it's better for you to download the latest one so that you can get the latest features from our studio. So after installing that, then you come down to download for our studio desktop. So when you download that, just follow the normal prompt. It's downloading for me now. I'll have to stop that because I have it already on my system. So when you get that downloaded, then you will have something like this. Let me share my screen. So you have your R Studio, mostly you have the three panes opened, okay? So you have this opened for you. So, but when you open the script like this, when you get fourth pane that you have in your environment. So this is our studio. So this is much more interesting. You can make it more colorful. You can have it in your scripts and you can run it and get the output in the console. And so we're going to get more into this. So let's go back to the slide. So the difference between R and R Studio. So R is more or less like the old time black and white screen, although there are some colors there now because of the latest version. But R Studio gives you much more opportunity, flexibility with different software that you've been familiar with, that you can have the same thing in R Studio. So getting to know R Studio IDE now. So this is the different panes here. So I'll take you back to my R Studio to explain what I have on the slide so that you be more familiar and to be much more realistic for you to understand. So this is typically when you install RStudio, pay this, you get to see this, 3 panes. But when you click, just like I explained earlier, when you click on this, then you create a script, you have the fourth window. But for what you have here, it's more or less like your working environment, maybe your office. You have the power to change it. So I'll go to the tools menu. That is where we have the power to change it. You come down to global options. This gives you the options, the opportunity to change so many things here. But the one that I want to focus on is the appearance. The appearance is about how you're seeing your screen now. So you might want to be careful about your sight, your eyes, and all this stuff. So I don't usually like the bright color. So that's why I'm having the black screen there. So because of my eyes. So you can decide to change yours. You can make different choices of different font types. So you just give yourself that freedom to change stuff. So you have I don't tamper with this. I use the default. So you can change your font size, can make it bigger. Then you can also look at different editor theme where you're working with. You can change it as much as you want. So you can have the white background. So you can have the black one. So it's all yours. Just make your choice. Then you click on apply. So if I apply now, you can see I don't have the black screen again, but it's too bright for me. So I would have to go there, back to global options. Then I'll come to appearance and I'll try to change it. So whichever one that I want to use, that I'll apply. Okay. So that has been applied to the screen. Now I want to also, let me go to the pane. So by default, we are having the source pane. That's where our script is. If you don't want it there, you can put your console where you can just type and see your code run and put the source down, or you make the source come up here side by side. Whichever one you want to do, it's a choice you have to make. So just make your choice, change it anyhow, apply, click OK, and you'll see the different one there. So it's a choice you have to make there. So it's not rigid. You can decide to change the size, make it bigger. You can collapse any of the pane. So you can decide to, you have the choice there. So collapse anyone, open it up, collapse. So it gives you the space. You have the power to control your space. I don't want this. I don't need this now. So these are the various ways you can just walk around and have fun working. You don't want to be working in a kind of boring environment. So it's your choice to do that. So do you have any question at this point? Okay, no questions. Thank you. So let's move on. I'll take you back to my slide now. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is, okay, how to get organized while working in RStudio. So I will go back. We're going to create a project directory so that you know where to put what. So if you create your project, you give it a meaningful name. Then you have your data folder, you have your script, you have your output folder. But let's go into RStudio, then we'll be able to do more. Okay, so now I have my console, I have the script here. So I'm going to close this, okay? And I would also leave the console the way it is now for now. So if I want to start working in RStudio, the first thing I need to do is to get organized. Get organized in the sense that, okay, I need to create a project. So if I want to create a project, I can either go to my file menu. You can see the options here. I can create a new file. or a new project. But the best thing is to create a new project. So I'll have a pop-up here. So I'll click on new directory and just select the first option, new project. So I'll just give it my new project or my first project. Project. Okay. So just these selections, you can decide not to include that. Well, that is for an advanced class. So I will just click on create project. So it's going to create a repository for a folder for me where I can keep all my project files. So the next thing would be if I'm working with data, maybe I've collected data or something, I can decide now to create a new folder for that so that I'll give it a name data. Okay, so inside this data, I might have my CSV folder, TSC, the text folder, Excel sheets, whichever format of data file that I'm working with, I can keep them in here. I can also create a folder for my scripts where I can keep all my script files. So if I decide now that, okay, I want to create a new file. So new file, I'll go for our script. So if I save this, let's say, okay, let me just put something there. 2 plus 2, 2 plus 3. I run that, it's working. So let me just save that. So it's going to come directly into the project folder. And you can see the 2 new folders that I created in it. This is my first project that I created. So now I want to keep the script in here. So I'll double click on that. So I can give it my first script. So I'll save that. So I have this now saved. So if I click on the folder script, I'll have that file in there. So this is how you get organized. Then if I create any report, maybe I have an R Markdown file. So if I go here, so I can set, okay, R Markdown, my first report. Okay, you can give it your name. My name is Philip. Without changing. So I'll save that. So then you can also decide which format you want. So I'll just I can decide to pick the PDF or the HTML, whichever one. You can also have the option of Word, but you have to have some of these packages installed there. So let me just stay with HTML. So I have this now, so I can save this. So because when you create an R Markdown file, you're just creating the file, you're not saving it yet. So just like the other file. So my GA report. So I'll save that. Okay. So let me just bring this up a little bit. So if I look into here, you have the R Markdown file here. But when I just don't bother yourself with what I'm doing with the R Markdown file. So if I need this, like the process that I use to generate my my document now, that's the report. So this is going to be the HTML file. I can start to move it out or keep it there, let it be there, but I would create a new folder. That would be my report. Okay, so I can decide to. Okay, welcome Abubakar. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I'll go back. So I can decide to move this file into the reports folder. So I can move, get out of the folder here, then go to the report and put it in there. So I can keep that I can now share with my colleagues later. So all these are here. So you can just open it anytime. You can see it in the, let me go there. Okay, so you can see my report, my first report and all this stuff. So this is some of the things that you might get to create. So now we know how to organize our files within our studio. So moving on now, let's look at, okay, we've created the project, just like I've explained. Now we look at, no matter what, anybody would always need help at one time or the other. While you're learning or you're going on a journey, you need to ask for help. So you can get help within the R Studio environment. So I will take you there. Let me just take you back to our. So if you're stuck, maybe you're working with a function, or maybe you were watching a tutorial or you read about something and you don't understand what that function is doing, or what you are actually, you got an error or something, you need to get help. So the first thing that you might want to do is to come to this pane, that is the file pane. You see there's a tab there that says help. So you can decide to come here, type in the topic. You can see a text box here. I say find in topic. Excuse me. You can decide to find by topic. Or you go into this text and just put in what you don't know. Maybe you have a function like, okay, sum. Let me put sum there. So I don't understand what that function does. So if I put in sum there, it's going to give me the options there. So it's going to give me a documentation. Let me collapse this. So the documentation about that function is a base R function. Then to tell you what it does, sum of vector elements. So it's going to give you the description, it's going to tell you how to use it, the arguments that you're going to put in there, the details, everything is going to be here. And also you get to see examples. And you can also run that examples within this tab. So if you click on that run example, it will bring you to a new page where you see the output of that example. So you can also go back or copy out all this and put it in your script. That, okay, this is what I've learned today. So this is how you can get help using the help tab. Or you can come into our studio, come into the console pane, and just put the question mark and put the name of that function there. So when you put the name of the function, they just no, this is not what I. So just click enter, and it will bring up the same window for you in the help tab. So maybe let me use another one so that you will see that it's simple. So I click this, then you see it in the help tab within the files pane. So you see everything displayed for you. You'll be able to read about it, look at the examples, and so on. So this is it. So this is while you are working in RStudio. If it now gets so complicated, you got an error. Whoa, this is too much. I don't understand this gibberish. Just copy out the error that was displayed. Then we'll go back to the internet. The almighty Google will be there to help us out. It will give you the opportunity to link up with the R community. So if I decide to say, okay, got an error, something, and I push it into the this thing, the internet, the Google. So let's say www.google. So it's Google. You can put in maybe some in R. So if I click on this, so it's going to give me different tutorials, different communities, different people who are volunteering to teach our videos, everything. Even if it's going to be an error, you can always push it in here and you'll get help. You will always get help. So if I take you back to my slide, there's also the R community. The R community, if you go to Google, so just put R community, let's put it there. So the first one that is going to pop up is the R Studio community. You can join this community. Then you can also have help on the Slack channel, the Twitter handle. different ones. Even the NHS, our communities, the different communities that you can get help from. Okay, so it's a lot there. You can join groups. Even we have Abuja our user group here that you can also join anytime, any day. And they are there to help you. So I'll go back to this. Then we have the Stack Overflow where you can get help. If you create an account there, you can always get your solution. There are people who have stumbled into different problems. You'll get similar things. So all you just need to do is to sign in or sign up. If you don't have an account, then create an account. If you have already, just sign in. Then somebody will answer your question. So those are the areas. Then if you are in an instructor-led training or something, be free to ask your instructors. So I'm going to go briefly into R, then we'll continue the class tomorrow, but I'll just let you know some of the things that you can do in R. So in R, we have variables, things we call variables. These are containers that helps you to store your value. So if I want to do what we have on there, an example is this. Variables are also created using the assignment for operator and all this. So these are just the theoretical aspect. But we can go to our studio now to do just what we're trying to explain. I'll go back to my first project. So here in your console, I can say my variable. Let's say my variable. The assignment operator can either be your equal to sign. So just by variable, can this. Okay, no. This is a variable. So in this instance, I'm keeping a string inside my variable, which is going to be known as my variable my underscore variable. So inside this my underscore variable, you have that string. So if you want to access what is inside the variable, all you just need is just to call the name anywhere. So if I call the name and I click enter, it's going to display what is inside that variable to me. So I can use it anywhere. So I've done this in the console, but I can also do it inside my script. So I can say the. So, and I will use a different assignment operator. So the now. Okay, sorry. I think something went wrong there. I'm coming out. So instead of using the equal sign, you can also press down the key button, Alt, and the dash key together. So if you press down the Alt and the dash or minus key button, you'll be able to create this. Or you can decide to do it one by one. Just press down the greater than sign, then the dash. Okay. So that is the most common assignment operator for R. So I can decide to say my second variable. Okay. So if I run this line of code, it's going to save it. Okay. So okay, I think I lost this. Okay, so that will be the variable that is there. I think I lost when my R studio shut down. So you can see the second one is my variable is equal to this is a variable. So, and if you, from what just happened now, you can see that having your code in your script is better than what I had in my script before was actually still there, but what I had in my console was lost. So it's better you have your code that you're going to kind of refer to later in your script and save it. So anytime you come back to your project, you will be able to get it. If I close this now and I decide to bring it up again, I'll get it back. So that is that. So that is a variable. Now you can't just give your variable any name. Number one, let's go back to the slide. It has to be meaningful. Your variable name needs to be meaningful. So it can be anything. It can be my number, my age, like the example where I want to store the name of a country, you give it the name country. This makes sense. Anybody looking at that knows that, okay, this is the country's name. That's what is being stored here. And as a variable, it can be changed. So this variable country can still store Ghana. I can decide to put Ghana there. It will override what was there before. That's Nigeria. Then if I decide to save it as Qatar, it's the same thing. So a variable can be changed anytime, but it can store the value. The last value that you store into it will be there. So you can also have another one as age. So that would be the age of the person or a student. It depends on the meaning you assign into it. So text values are surrounded by quotes that can either be double or single quotes, while numeric are not surrounded by quotes. So values in variable are accessed using their name, just like demonstrated in RStudio. So you can also print variables with the print function, just like this. So if I copy this and I go back to my RStudio, so if I put this in here, so we don't have the variable yet. Let me go ahead and do this. So I'll run this and you'll get the error. So this error is telling you that object country not found because I've not actually created it in anywhere in this environment. So I can decide to create it now. Country, alt dash, so that would be Nigeria. So I'll save this. So I'll run this. Is either you click the run button here, or you just press the Control Enter key. That will run your line of code. So now if I want to print this, instead of just typing the name, I can decide to print it out in the console using the print function. This is a function. Any text or name that is followed by the parentheses, it's a function here. You'll get to know more about this later. So that is that. So I'll go back to the slide to look more into variables before we go to them. So now you can also assign multiple variables in R at the same time. So if you want to say, okay, like in Nigeria, we have a state by the name Kano, and the capital is also Kano. So it's the same thing. So instead of saying state is equal to Kano, capital is equal to Kano, I can do it at the same time. So if I copy this, go into R, paste this. So if I run this, just what I'm doing, instead of doing one by one, like, okay, state is equal to Kano, then capital is equal to Kano. You can do it at the same time. So if I do this, run this together, I'll have it in my environment. And I can also do the same thing. I'll take it out of my environment. So so if I can use, okay, sorry, I can use this. So I'll go just remove capital. Let's remove this. This is out of our environment, but I'm going to now use this line of code. Can you see now? The capital is back and state is also still back. So if I use the name and I run it, you'll have Kano there. And if I put in capital, you get the same thing, Kano. So both are now having the value Kano stored in them. So that is just, you can just, even if it's going to be 3, be city. So maybe we say city. Okay. So I run that. So you can see capital, city, and state are all having values as Kano in them. So that's just how easy you can work with R. So we'll go back now. So we can also the function here is just for you to combine different variables into a vector. So now let's look at the naming in rules. So you need to first of all give your variable a meaningful name and descriptive in the sense that, okay, anybody saying it will understand what you are actually having stored inside that variable. Then start it with a character, okay, or a combination of characters. You can also add underscore, just like what we did there. You can add digits and periods. But don't start with digit or underscore. Don't, that's going to give you an issue. So you do not start with a period followed by digits, like what you have here. Then do not start with special words in R, such as true, false. There's some special keywords in R. So variables in R are case sensitive. You cannot say you stored a value as H with a capital letter A and H with a small letter A to be the same thing. No, it's not going to work. So I'll take you, let me show you this in R Studio. So if I say H is equal to 10, okay, I run this. So now I want to access the value in it and I now say H. So you can see it's already giving me uh, an option that, okay, are you trying to type this? So I'm going to say no, I'm going to go with this. So with this now, I decide to be so adamant that, okay, I want to go with the capital letter A, starting the name of the variable. Now it's telling me error, object age not found, because age with a capital letter A and age with a small letter A are actually different. So R is case sensitive. So these are examples of invalid variable names. So we also have in R comments. As a developer, somebody working with codes are languages that should be understandable to both machines and human beings. In cases where it's kind of getting so weird, add comments to your code. So if you want to add a comment to your code, you need to start with the hashtag. So this sign, the key, that you will precede it by any even if it's number, text, or something, it's going to the R Studio or R language is going to see it as a comment. So let me take you to my R Studio environment again. So if I decide to put the hash key or the pound sign here, you can see the color of the code on that line 14 has changed to gray. That's showing it depends on the way I kind of configured my environment. So it can be a different color in your own system, just like we have explained before. So this is not going to run. So let me give you an example like this. Okay, age, let's say age is equal to 50. And I decide to run this line of code. It's not, you can see in my console, nothing is displayed. It's saying this as a comment, okay? Age is not going to be stored there. But if I remove this and I run the line of code, it's going to store it. You can see in my environment now, I have capital letter H, A, the age starting with the capital letter A, and the age starting with small letter A. The small letter A has 10, the capital letter A has 50. But if I decide to maybe put the comment again, or let me do it this way. Let's say print like we did before. I want to print out the age using the print function. I run this. Nothing is going to be displayed here. Okay, because it's a comment now. So, but I can decide to add comments like this. Print out the value in the age variable. So this makes sense. If I share my code with somebody now, and I have this code, line of code on line 19 there, the person will invariably know that, okay, I'm trying to use this function, okay, to print out the age value. So I can add another comment. So like, okay, using the print function, i.e. print. So I think this makes sense. So anybody using or I've shared my code with will know that, okay, I'm actually trying to print out the value in the age with the capital letter A onto the console. So if I run this now, it's going to be displayed in my console here. So I have it here. So comments are there to help make your code meaningful. So to any audience that you're having. So this is actually beneficial. So at this point, I'm going to stop for today. So tomorrow we'll start from the arithmetic and logical operations in R. So if you have questions, okay, Abubakar, okay, Juni. So if you have any question, I think Juni is offline now. So if you have questions, you can go ahead and give it to me. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me this morning. So I look forward to meeting you in class tomorrow again. Thank you. So that will be bye today. Thank you.